Welcome everybody back to our little program, Friday Faith Stories at Davis Community Church. These are ways in which we're connecting with ordinary people that you often get to see at church, but obviously for good reasons aren't seeing them now. So we're bringing them to you in whatever way you can tune into these programs. They're short, we hope inspiring and informative, and ways in which we can encourage each other for living through the challenges of these days. So today I get to sit with Les Skog. And she's now currently an elder serving on our session. And in a conversation that I had with her recently, she brought up a practice that she's involved in. So I'm going to pitch it to her now and say, Les, tell us a little bit about something you're doing right now to keep yourself sane or grounded or hopeful.
Okay, so I am currently and was previously involved in keeping a gratitude journal. And there's a history to it, but I am doing it right now because right now is the time when I feel almost everybody is on the verge of being depressed at some point during every day because of all the depressing news. And when I first met Chris, I had no problems. He knew me as a very, cheerful, competent person, and at some point...
Does that mean knowing me brought problems?
Oh no. No, but at some point in 2017, when my life started getting to a point where I couldn't control things, and I'm very into control, my husband and I ended up in Chris's office, and he listened to me weep for an hour. He recommended that I start seeing a Stephen minister, which I did. And Elisa set me up with someone wonderful who helped me develop this practice of keeping a gratitude journal. It's so undemanding that I started at the top of the page with I am grateful. And so I wouldn't have to even write complete sentences for the rest of it. And my scheme was that I had to come up with 5 new things every week that I was grateful for. Very undemanding.
Is this something you do daily, or you set aside time once a week to do it, or how does it work for you?
I set aside time once a week, but as I got into it, it developed so that I would kind of add to it during the week. And I found that I would be, in Fairfield teaching or something, and during my lunch, I'd think of something and, whoa, I got to remember that for when I get home. That's a good gratitude idea. And by saving them in my head, by writing them down, they became more concrete. And I found that by not writing down the negative things that were in my head, it helped pull me out of this state of depression that I had fallen into. So it's something I would recommend to somebody who has been depressed before, like me, and feels it coming on. At the beginning of the pandemic, I was like, whoa, I am getting into this again, because it's a scary time. And I have remained okay so far.
That's beautiful. So
we have a ways to go.
Right, we do have a ways to go. We recognize this is a marathon, not a sprint. So
right.
I think this is one of the reasons it's important to have this conversation with you so that others can listen in, because it is a marathon, not a sprint, and we all need practices. We've heard people talk about music. We've talked about hearing you talk about gratitude and this anchoring practice of doing something daily or weekly to remember the things for which we're grateful.
Right.
As you're saying, has a way of changing your inside, maybe the inner dialogue that gets so sticky inside us.
Yes, it does. And I think it helps you find the silver lining in things that don't obviously have a silver lining, because you're thinking, now, how can I turn this around so I can put it in my journal?
And of course, we know that there are other things people who are depressed can do, which is therapy.
Oh, yeah.
A way of anchoring people and helping us. And so you've probably done that too. And helps us really work through the inner dialogue. Medication, of course, is a vitally important part of God's gift to us. But this little practice anybody can do,
Mhm.
regardless of where you are in depression or anxiety, to be able
Yeah,
to
even
make
if you're not depressed, I think it just helps you see the world differently.
right, right. And I want to note that you had a Stephen Minister, which is a program of our church, which has trained persons who can sit with people over a period of time and walk with them in their spiritual lives and in their journey. And
Mhm.
it's beautiful that this came to you through one of our Stephen Ministers. So whoever that was, a little shout out to our Stephen Ministers and Elisa Stone, who directs them in this church's long history with Stephen Ministers. Well, is there something you'd love to leave us with as we close this Friday faith story with you, Les?
Well, I have a little saying that's on my refrigerator, has been on my refrigerator since college. And it talks about attitude, which is not exactly the same as what I've been talking about, but I don't know, I think it's the same in some ways. This is by Charles Swindoll, and I'm not going to read all of it, but I'll read this part. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes.
Well, thank you. And you've had that since you were in college.
Yeah.
So a little witness to what we can do to change our attitudes and be disciplined about what we're thinking and how that affects our feelings and how our feelings can affect our thinking and our relating to the world.
Right.
Well, thank you, Les, and I'm delighted that you're an elder, one of our wise leaders of the congregation. Thank you for that as well. So blessings to you and blessings to all of you who are watching this program, and we hope that you take something with you that you can do to help ground you, to keep you sane and spiritually alive in these difficult times. God be with you. Bye for now.